going there, I would ask Steve to do this prayer.
Do you want me to go right into the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please.
Okay.
Right after.
Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for everybody here who couldn't make it, Lord. We thank you, Lord, and we want to include you in our discussion, Lord, so we can make wise, discerning decisions for our community, Lord, and so we can give you all the glory for our decisions. We come to you for wisdom, Lord, and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you haven't looked at the agenda yet, there should be one around. You can look at the other persons, and if everything is okay on the agenda, somebody can motion to approve.
Making the motion to approve the agenda with, we can shift the speaker around if he does show up later. I don't think the speaker for the forestry department is in attendance currently.
And I'm looking for a second.
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
I did verify earlier, or said earlier, that I know we have sufficient members here at this meeting. September 11th, today's October 2nd. We had a meeting on September 11th, and we had some minutes. Everybody or anybody get to say it? Everybody? So I'm looking for a motion. Did anybody not receive it? First of all, okay.
There are a
Couple of you
number
will
of
not.
things left out of the minutes.
Okay.
It says somebody made a comment, but they don't tell you what the comment is about. It's like, it's abbreviation of what the minutes really were, or what happened at the meeting. And the minutes should be everything that was said at the meeting, not just
Summary.
a summary,
Okay.
summary of it.
So
So
we'll
if someone
note
makes
that.
a comment, that comment should be there. If someone replies to the comment, that reply should be there. So everyone knows exactly what was said.
So we will
and
note
what
that
happened.
for future
I
meetings.
see many minutes where they're not.
Yeah. That's okay. We will note that. We'll make a notation of that. Any other comment on that, correction or addition? Having heard no more, I'm looking for an approval from somebody.
Motion for approval.
Second? Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. The treasurer's report also went out, and while we do the treasurer's report, we'll also talk about friends of the council and any other thing in your arena, Mr. Saul. So, did everybody receive it? Or most of you, there might be one or two of you who have not received it because there was not an email that we had at that time. And I think you did not receive it. Right? So you will receive it. No, you didn't receive it yet. Is your email? Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah. I got it. Okay, Mr. Saul, any comment on that?
No, there was $150 deposit, which was the Friends of the Council, which brought our total from 1761 up to 1811. And as per usual, a person who makes that deposit becomes listed at the bottom with Friends of the Council.
Okay. There's a listing of Friends of the Council's donation or contribution up on the desk there, various categories. So, anything else, Mr. Saul? I'm going to make a comment in that we had to pay to re-register the organization, and it was in excess of $200, no less than
I'm sure because
no
it's
more.
over 4
So
years.
you will know. You will have
4
that
years
amount.
deficient.
So you will have that amount.
I didn't
from
know the
20
exact amount.
Yeah, you will have the exact amount
Because
when I send you.
when I checked
you receive it.
yesterday, we were 4 years deficient.
That's the
We were
wrong one.
told that we were
Yeah.
inactive. And
That's-
being inactive by the state means we cannot use our name.
It's active. We have verified that it's active.
Well, as of yesterday, the state didn't know that,
That was one of the. I think that's an old one. Mrs. Saul.
because that's what I have here.
Yeah, there are two entities on it, and that one that you might have clicked on was probably the wrong one. In any case, I will forward you that receipt. There was also on that same token, there were some signs that were made by some folks to place in front of here to identify that this is where the council's meeting is being held. Some of us may take that upon ourselves to reimburse those people. If not, we might be able to bring it forward as a payment to the council, from the council. But I'm just throwing that out there for now. It was about $120 or $35. I can't remember. But close to that amount. But neither here nor there. Some of us might be able to just pay for it on our own and or reimburse those folks. You know, I know we had some situations in reference to swearing in and all of that and admitting new members, but we did go ahead and we did say that we will add the new members until our new bylaws and our election that comes up. And I know last time we had 4 or 5 people who just didn't show up, but the applications were there. So today we will be willing to just swear you in and let you be on there.
Wait a minute. In September, people are supposed to apply if they want to become a member of the association. Then the election occurs from October 15th until November 15th by ballot. I gave a 3-page report to Derek of the people who should be up for election. I don't know whatever happened to that, but they're the people that should be applying for those positions on the 3 different levels. I don't know if any of that ever went out or any of those people ever told or handed in their response. They're the people that should be up for election.
Yeah, Mr. Saul, unfortunately, we didn't have enough members, and as you know, and we have been, and I'm going to address it clear. I think I might have said something the last time. We did not have enough members to reorganize ourselves and to come back out. And we have been asking people to come on board. And then,
According to the bylaws, they have to put in their
they have.
in September, and then we decide from October 15th to November 15th.
And these folks are going to be assigned as of then, but we need the people at this time. So having said that, we will move on to swear the 3 additional people who from last month we didn't get to do. And I can do the swearing. Or if somebody else wants to, it'll be helpful. And the 3 people are Christine.
So we just go ahead and violate the bylaws. Why even have the bylaws if we're going to constantly violate them?
We're
It
revising.
doesn't make sense.
We need the people, Mrs. Saul.
Then let's do it correctly.
Mr. Saul, for now, let's get this done, and then we'll correct what we have to correct in the month of December or November when all the people are together. We don't have enough people, so we are gonna just do this. So the 3 folks that I'm gonna call is Cheryl, Robert, and Christine. Cheryl, Robert, and Christine. Robert, you're right. You missed last time.
And just to confirm, David Shockley is not here, and none of the
The other 2 are not here. 3 are not here.
Curio family's not here.
And then it'll bring us close to where we need to be actually, unless.
And what group do they go to? Group A, Group B, or Group C?
We are not going to assign anybody to groups right now, Mr. Saul, until
Then you're in
the
violation
election.
of the bylaws.
We're not going to assign people at this point. We're just going to swear them in. So having said that, so could you also?
Then why have a committee as we have it? Why don't you just say ad hoc? No Lehigh Acres.
So I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna be brief, and you're just gonna say your name, and then we're gonna move forward.
I, Christine Garris,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to be an active member
to be an active member
of the Community Council of Lehigh Acres
of the Community Council of Lehigh Acres
and to participate fully,
and to
participate
participate faithfully
in good faith.
in good faith.
So help me.
So help me God.
Listen, folks, I'm done. I just want you all to know that I just had to do it from my
Are
head.
they on for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years?
In November, we will put them on there after when we do the settings of the people. But now we're just gathering everybody that needs to and wants to be part. Thanks. I know last time we had a committee formed, and they're to review the bylaws and or to act on the bylaws and the articles of this organization. So I'm going to ask any one of you who have taken that leadership role to give us a little briefing of where you're at. I know it's not going to be wholly done tonight. So I'm going to ask any one of you.
So far, we've had 3 meetings. We've gone through the document, the existing document in its entirety currently. We have many proposed changes to essentially simplify the bylaws. There's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of we've made substantial changes to it hypothetically. So we're going to potentially, I think we're finalizing the document still. Another week or so, we should have a final proposal. With that, we'll meet one last time just to make sure we're all on the same page, and then we're good with it. Then we will send it out to the membership for review, question, comments, and then bring it before the board either
To adopt or
November or December meeting.
December.
Point of information. Due to the fact that we are recognized by the state under contract, whatever we propose has to be approved by the state.
Has to be submitted to the state. And also within the bylaws, there's the policy and procedure manual and the articles of incorporation. Articles of incorporation are on Sunbiz, but they're outdated and will need to be updated when the new filing is done this upcoming January, whenever that is. And then once we finish the bylaws, we will likely roll our same committee potentially into, if we can't produce this policy procedure manual, to then recreate a new policy procedure manual for the items referenced in the bylaws.
But also it has to be approved by the state.
Yeah, it's going to be
Because
set.
we are sanctioned by the state.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just submit it to the state and it gets approved. I don't think that's
Oh, it's not that simple.
Point well taken from both sides. So anything else, sir?
That's all I have. Anybody else from the committee have anything they'd like to add?
Suggestion for you on that. When you go to submit that to the state, as you go through to change various aspects of this, you need to go through line by line and say, here's the way it is now, and then this is how it's going to read now.
Yeah,
And then on every time you make a change, just assume that it's like an engineering drawing where you change the bolt size, and you got to make note of it. So when somebody goes to deal with it 5 years from now, they know what the hell's going on.
a lot of strike throughs and a lot of red text where it's you can see what the old was and what the new would be.
Thank you. Yeah. That will save your sanity a great deal.
Have you submitted a document to the state that you know that you're saying that? Or? Robert? Robert, right?
Pardon?
Have you submitted that document to the state before? You have knowledge of that?
No, but I used to work as in engineering, having to deal with OSHA on a monthly basis.
okay.
It was a pain in the ass, okay? Because they wanted to see all that kind of stuff, you know. And I'm assuming Florida's probably not a hell of a lot different based on what I'm going through right now, trying to get permits to build an addition to my house.
Very good. Thank you.
It's a zoo. So
Okay.
if you can simplify it in the beginning by spelling out, okay, this is what it was, this is what it is, this is what we'd like it to be, and then down through the rest of it, then the crazy people at the state, when they go to read it, well, yeah, that makes it simpler, or that made it more complicated, at which point they got a question on that line, not the whole document, just the one line. It simplifies everybody's craziness.
Thank you, Robert. I'm thinking, you know, that since you have a little bit of that type of experience, if the committee would like to, you know, we all will have a
We'll
chance to
accept
look at
another
it.
committee member for our final.
If you want to pick my brains on this, fine. I got no problem with that.
There you go, dear.
Add you to the list for our next meeting when we meet.
All right, thank you all very much. You guys have made some good leaps. You know, we don't know about the bounds yet, but we know the leaps have been very fruitful. Thank you all very much. It's a big deal.
I also have a letter here from the IRS. Your organization's tax SIM status has been automatically revoked.
The tax status, I'm gonna get it renewed.
I'd like to question whose responsibility it was to file the taxes and to file the state information. And doesn't that fall on the treasurer?
We'll here. No qualms, no quarrel, no fuss. Yasin's gonna take it upon himself to get it done and make it simple. I'm gonna try to do that. I'll take a picture of it and then I'll keep it. Hopefully by the next meeting I'll come back with news that it has
It's in the
been.
hands of Chuck Edwards.
Yeah, that's fine. We will fix. Some of us are in the fixing business. Thanks, Mrs. Election and executive board positions discussion on the new business. Because it's coming up. And I know that we have sworn in some people, and I had already indicated that we didn't have enough members here. We had to restart everything, you know. So some of that, the members that are there. However, the review committee, whatever they come up with, maybe in December they will have something and it might change certain things. For all intensive purposes, we can still divvy up people in various groups. And Mr. Saul was the person who was actually doing that for some time. So, Mr. Saul, any comment on that for now or no?
What's that?
That's for the elections thing. And I know you mentioned September and October.
I went through what that has been over the past 2 years, and I just divvied it up as to what was going to be needed, because we're going to need 6 people in group 1, because group 1 was being totaled out, and those 6 people will be voted in for 3 years, and then there was a certain number of people for group 2 and a certain number of people for group 3, because we had 2 or 3 people in group 2 and 2 or 3 people in group 3. And people could be that, and what I did is I took the people that were here and I put their names in a hat, and I put cards in there, and I pulled out and slotted them in their respective areas.
Yeah. So hopefully we will have the 21 members at least 21 people.
18,
18.
3 times 6.
Oh.
We went from 21 to 18 a few years ago.
And I'm sure the committee, I had suggested several times that anybody who wants to become a member, and this is just throw in, it's an encouragement for people to
And the
come
purpose of that was that you only be getting 7 new members
Every
each
time.
year instead of 21 at one time.
And it keeps us going. Makes sense.
And that was something that started a few years ago.
All right. Executive board positions, that comes up here, or I know what the articles say, and I know what some of the bylaws say. Do we want to infringe on that at this point or no? Because we have not had to do this for at least 2 years, and through the COVID, we have not had to do any of this because of those situations. So we have to revamp how we're going to do or renew and or revise what we will do in the future.
So right now we have secretary, president, and treasurer. We have 3 out of the 5 that.
There should be president, 2 vice presidents, 2 secretaries, and a treasurer.
So we're missing.
So this is what we have now. You're right. You're right.
So did you want to put someone in those positions until we get everything going, or just kind of leave it?
Those positions
the way it is now?
will be done in the month of November.
No, December.
December? Yeah,
December.
okay, December.
And then they
We're good
take
to
over
go
in January.
For now.
Okay.
So.
But for now, all intensive, we only have minimal amount of people. We're building. Hopefully we will have sufficient amount. So, November 5. And we have a lot of new people. I'm sure the people in the bylaws committee, and I'm just throwing in my 2 cents for now. I'm sure you guys might be able to say that, look, a person doesn't have to be in the community council for 2 years in order to be an executive member. Because remember, I'm hoping, my friends, for all, I'm throwing that in. Because we will need
Keep that in mind.
to fill those positions.
So this year's election may be different than what it's supposed to be in the future.
I know.
Because of the situation.
I know. Okay, so I'm throwing that in. Our kind sheriff, and I'm going to say something before I introduce our sheriff. He has been doing a man job. As you see, when we were coming in, when I came in here, he was already putting the desk together. It's not something that, we should have been doing that. But thank you so much. I
appreciate it. This time, actually, the room was somewhat set up, so I didn't really have much, but thank you, though.
You stated great, man.
No, thank you.
No. And while we're on that, part of our, and I know that they do this still, part of our givings to have this place, it's not because we pay taxes or anything. That's a word that needs to be thrown up in the sky. If we can bring in some non-perishable type goods when we come in, like a couple of cans of whatever, they'll be helpful. And I'm sure that they take it in mass amount and they can give it to the community service or
especially
wherever.
during the holidays, we'll give
Yes.
stuff out. We do a lot.
So, as a reminder, I'm throwing that out there. All right. I know we are all new. I know I didn't bring any because I ate the 1 can of pear this morning and the 1 can of mixed fruits yesterday. I love those things because the people in the bushes, these homeless people, they make use of it. The community services really do a good job when they give things. Some of these people don't come to the community service, but these folks reach out to them. I know that. I know. Or I'll go and I'll find some of them. So that's something. So I'll leave it up to you now, Mr.
Okay. I know I brought up last week, there's no, as far as new changes or anything, I know some people expressed interest in getting the message from the sheriff. What I'm going to do this week is anybody that wants it, they get your name on the list, just put down your name and your email, and then you'll start to receive that monthly message from the sheriff's office of kind of what's going on, especially when we get to the holidays. Scam season will be cranking up in full force. Trying to think continuing still to hit traffic heavy in the area, and That's really about it. I know we did a drug bust out here just within the last couple of days. And any questions as far as do some? I met with the captain of the district, but nothing really screamed, big points to reach out. Do you guys have questions for me or anything I can pass along to the district? Because I do talk to the captain, lieutenant after every meeting within the next day or so, and I let them know concerns or any questions anybody has. Is there any questions from anybody? Yes.
I just wanted to know, a few meetings ago I was here and they were talking about the gypsies that had come into the area. You have an update on that?
I know the sheriff's office went pretty hard on a lot of that stuff, and if you've noticed, it has quieted down quite a bit. When we are seeing they're predominantly in the city's jurisdiction. I know there is two duplex side by side out here that probably has about 20 of them living between the two duplexes. But they're legally there, so we can't do anything about that. But I know we have been going after, we've made some arrests with it, as well as trespass. And so it has died down some, but I know they are still operating.
What's the problem with, I guess I missed out on the
So
beginning of
what
that.
happens is we have a large population of Romanian gypsies that are here. And you'll see them on the street corners with everything from them with a kid in a stroller to holding the sign saying, my kid's in the hospital, they have a picture of some kid on life support, or my husband just died. And they play on people's emotions to get monies and donations, and they tend to hit especially hard in the Hispanic areas of town because they know a lot of Hispanic people are very giving. They also are notorious for, because the Spanish population especially is very superstitious, they will, if they don't get what they want, I've seen where we had one person contact us because they gave, and then the person says, well, you need to give more than that or I'm going to put an X on your spell. It's just superstitious stuff. And so it's really sad what they do, but a lot of cases when I've had dealings personally with them, the kids that are with them aren't always their kids. There's quite a few that come over from Miami, and like I said, there's some that are living over here, and they figure out where to go. Okay, you've been trespassed from here, all right, well then you go there. So it's a whole network, and I've dealt with one of the leaders. He's just an big older guy that just takes the money and tells everybody where to go. So the people who really need it really don't. People think they're helping, and you're really not, because the money's going into the group. And it's, as I've said here before, I don't know if you were here for it, if you want to give to the community, I know Lee County is blessed with a lot of giving people. Do not give it to the people on the corners. Don't. I don't care how, don't. If you want to give, then you give to the community center. You give to your local church. Because unfortunately, I'm on the Lee County hot team, which is the homeless coalition. So I'm one of the ones that goes into the homeless camps around the county. And I can't tell you how often people will take the money that you give and they use it to buy cigarettes, alcohol, or drugs. I can't tell you how often we have gone to homeless camps. And when we go, as far as Lee County, it's made up of Lee County Human Veteran Services, Lee County Sheriff's Office. We also have someone from a drug treatment center, and we will come with a van or a car and say, you can leave this camp right now. We'll get you the housing, or we'll get you whatever the needs are. But you can't take your drugs with you in here, you can't take your alcohol. And they usually don't want to give that up. Out of a camp of, like we did one, it was a camp of 30 tents, a camp of 30 different encampments over by the Walmart in North Fort Myers, the woods. You know where the Walmart is, North Fort Myers? There's a huge wooded area. We counted over 30 tent setups, and out of all those that we went to, I think 2 took our services. It's the ones that, not all of them beg for money on the street corners, but the ones that do, sometimes will make more money than a lot of us make in a day. They'll make anywhere $200 to $300 in a day. There's one particular lady who for quite a while was on the corner by the racetrack in North Fort Myers. She knew exactly how much she needed for her Motel 8, how much she needed for a meal, how much she needed for her alcohol. And when she gets that amount for the day, she calls it quits, goes in, and she'll tell you. I've had it, we've gone when, if someone doesn't want full services, we have a goodie bag of here's toiletries, here's this, that, here's a coupon for a meal. We've even given it away for people that say, well, I'm homeless because I can't get transportation. We'll say, okay, here's a year-long bus pass courtesy of Lee County to get to work. And I've had people throw that back and say, I don't need this, I make more money begging. So.
I've seen a lot of women on corners now.
And a lot of
Like
times the
Mount
guys.
Cypress in that area, they are sick right now.
Yeah. Anytime you see people begging, call it into the sheriff's office and the non-emergency number. Now, if it's in the city's jurisdiction, like Colonial, MLK, that's all the city's jurisdiction. You can call, and I know the city of Fort Myers has officers that works with the sheriff's office and the hot team, but their ordinances, and they're not as proactive as we are. I can tell you, I look at the report every day, and if we have encounter with someone at an intersection, if we're able to catch up with them, we'll tell them you're not wanted on this location. If they truly in need, they'll contact. We'll try and get services out to them. So you notice it's gone down to where it was, but it's still out there. But the more people give food, unfortunately, that's what I say. It's like feeding the cats. They're just going to keep coming around, and you're not helping them. They're not going to get better. They're not going to feed their kids at home. I know you mentioned you'll see more women.
A lot of it.
They'll play on that because usually there's a guy somewhere watching, and they know that women will get, especially if they could just play more on the heartstrings.
Yep.
So that's the reality. So my wife and I give. We choose to give through a ministry because I know where that money's going to go. I also will give through the United Way. There's programs like that. Just you're not doing any good. I know I personally have stopped out with people before. There was a while where, because of legal reasons, we weren't able to do what we could, and I stopped and offered out of my own supply a bottle of water or a protein bar. No, I'm okay. I just need cash. And that's the long and short of it. But don't give, and encourage your friends. Give to a charity. Don't hand over money.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
When you come to the homeless camps, do you leave them, or do you have to have them removed, or is it up to like?
So good question. If someone asks about a homeless camp, we had one where there was an abandoned Burger King where it was private property. We brought services. We offered this guy. I should show you the pictures. The amount of stack of alcohol bottles was unbelievable. At the size of this table, I have pictures of it. And we offered him services and said, you can't stay here. The owner of this property is going to want you removed. Well, I'm not leaving. Well, you've got 48 hours. We can get you right now into all the services. So if we come back in 3 days, you're here, the owner wants you trespassed. Okay. Well, we went back in 3 days. He refused to leave. He's now staying at the Marcino Hotel. Now, that's private property. If it's a lot of times they congregate in wooded areas. If that wooded property is private property, unless that owner says, I want them gone, we can't do anything. We can offer services, but we can't force them to be gone.
Wow.
So, any other questions? Yes,
This is on a different subject. It's about the four-wheelers, the ATVs and stuff. On our way here on Milwaukee, let's say between Columbus and Eisenhower, it's a utility four-wheel drive. It wasn't one of the fast ones, but the guy was driving down the wrong lane for what, half a mile?
At least.
And then an approaching vehicle came toward him. He got on the shoulder and came back out, and then he eventually turned and went south on Eisenhower. Is the department doing anything? I mean, this wasn't a kid. I mean,
yeah. So ATV crop, especially out here in Lehigh, is a big problem.
Yep.
When the construction was going on in '82, it got really bad along there. So we do set up periodically throughout the year. We'll do. If you were to walk out the store right now, you'd see a couple 4-wheelers and side-by-sides that we keep out here just for doing operations. The problem is we can't. If they don't stop, we can't make them stop. The risk of life, because if we chase them and they wreck and get injured or die, they will sue the sheriff's office. So unless in certain circumstances, when we go after the bikers, a lot of times we have to use the helicopter. So it's not just a simple put a deputy out. I personally have been involved out here with operations, and I've lit up some of the bikers, and usually it's more of a problem with the young people, they'll wave to you with their middle finger and gun it and go to the woods, and the deputy can't chase them with an SUV or a Crown Vic or whatever they're driving. So to answer your question, we are proactive. If you see a particular area that it's going on regularly, you can always call it in a non-emergency.
Lehigh.
Yeah, well, it's,
Yeah.
it challenges if it's just like, okay,
Everywhere.
you saw them here today and don't see them again. By the time the deputy gets out there,
They're
a lot of them are gone.
Yep.
But if I'm saying, if you're seeing like a regular
That's the
congregate
problem.
there's 30 of them out there, just congregate, call it in.
You know, every Saturday night they're going down this road at this time, you know, then you can set up an operation.
Right.
Well, they're set up pretty good. They come through different times,
Yeah.
different days.
They know how to do it, yeah.
But I know
Christmas is always worse because they get new four-wheelers for the holidays. They're off of school. Plus, when we get to the wintertime, a lot of the flooded areas and the canals dry out. So
Yep.
you'll see an increase. Summer, it's not as bad. This is when we have a lot of water. But when it's dry, you'll see an increase of it. So we are aware, but
Yep.
you can always call it in.
Thank you.
Yes.
How about new construction and litter? That seems to me to be a problem.
New construction, meaning the construction companies dumping trash,
Yeah.
or people dumping trash on someone's construction site. Because there's a difference. We do
Yeah,
get,
I see, we've got a couple going up where we're at, and I will see people drive up and toss
And
stuff
dump.
into their dumpsters or
yeah,
near
they're
their
not
dumpsters.
supposed to.
But I see the construction workers who claim, we're not with the company, we're subcontracted. It doesn't, I don't see where
Yeah,
it takes
there's
a
nothing you
liberating
can do
away.
about that because if
But
they're
I'll watch
subcontracting the
them,
property.
they'll drink it through it. you know.
Yeah.
Right, even in my yard.
Yeah, go to any construction site, unfortunately, you're gonna see people
Yeah.
throw stuff around.
Isn't there any kind of littering or anything you can do?
Code
about that?
enforcement can be
Yeah.
called out and the permitting, and if you, pardon me,
Yeah,
for areas that are such, and you see such thing, the permitting department downtown, they're supposed to have that policed, what needs to be done, and they will talk to the permitting, to the contractor themselves.
right.
And you know, that's how they deal with it. And if it becomes a code thing, they will talk to them about it. You know, if it's about dirt blocking drainage, it's with them also, because then they talk directly to the contractor. I
So
know
it's not a
this,
sheriff's thing to call, that would be exactly what it's code enforcement.
but those are good concerns and questions. Anyone else for the sheriff? Okay. Street lights, I'm just gonna touch on that quickly. We have not had a meeting within the last 3 months at least. We were contemplating, and you guys don't know because I just sent a message. Yeah, we know that it's their budgeting time. I know that the budget has been already approved, and I know that they had put stuff on Homestead Road, those decorative little flags that you see. Those have been there, they worked on that. I know that, look, they had given us a report on what all they have been doing, but we're contemplating on getting a meeting with them, which will be announced in the month of November. They say they cannot meet this month already, so, because I asked them myself.
You got an email from them before the meeting was.
Yeah, I talked with them because of that. Yeah, they have already approved the budget for it, that amount will come out this month. It will be published. ARB board, you can talk about that if you need to, Derek. We know we had one project.
Yeah, this much, we didn't have much, it was just a re-proposal of the same project, now that they're going for a development order of the storage unit along State Road 82.
And I'm going to piggyback on that. I know you guys have seen some of the new venues. The Waffle House, I like to talk about it. I'm not a southerner per se, but I used to drive on Highway 85, on these federal highways, on I-75, and I normally stop by at the Waffle House because they're there 24 hours. I know they put one next to Sunshine, but I've seen that thing being packed. It is packed all through the day. I don't know who's eating there. It's not me.
They had their top 14 opening
Okay.
for Waffle
Yep, this is true. This is true.
That one.
By the way, you guys missed out on a McDonald's day. It was for 50 cents for anything that you want for a burger, fry, or anything. Okay, so you missed out on that. Even Culver's were given.
Thank God, yeah.
Burger King and all
Thank
that.
God.
Didn't miss out
Thank
on that a
God.
bit.
But
Thank
Wouldn't
God.
be there if they paid me.
No, me
any
neither.
place that served
I
the
wouldn't eat there.
cheeseburger, burgers, or whatever they call it. Any. Members comment for good of the order. I want to make one comment up front. If you guys notice, Mrs. Saul has not been here. She's one of our members, and I know Mr. Saul is not. She was in rehab for a little bit, and she's back home. And we wish her well, Mr. Saul, and we wish you well to take care also.
Yeah, she was in rehab for a month. Over here.
So, having said that, I'm going to let the group start from this side for a good update. Any comment you have? And or
I have a question based on something that I stuck my foot in about 2 months ago. There's a lot of land being cleared right now. And I've got a couple guys that do that for a living. And I've worked with them to actually, instead of dropping it off at the dump, they're dropping it in my side yard right now. It will eventually get run through a sawmill and all that. But right now I've got about, 8 or 10 big, like 20-foot trailer piles sitting in my side yard. Am I in a world of hurt for doing that? Just got to ask, it's
no,
like,
you're good. Open the sawmill. Put your own sawmill, man.
well, I'm thinking about it, but at the moment, yeah, it's like it's cheaper to take it over to the guy over here by Buckingham and let him do it. He's got a 24 and a 60-inch sawmill. He's already taken one big log for me.
Wow.
But
if he come and cut some trees down for me, he can have it.
well, and the reason I started doing this is because otherwise these guys are paying big dollars to go put the logs in a dump, which to me makes absolutely no freaking sense. Let's turn it into lumber that we can do furniture with, or help somebody rebuild their house, Habitat for Humanity, or whatever.
Something, anything.
Yeah.
You're referring to logs, not.
Yeah, no, these are like trees.
Big trees.
Yeah.
Big trees. that
I would
big
think the
for
fire
me.
department could have an issue with brush, like piling and making.
Yeah, no, these are like logs like this big. Maybe there might be a branch like this sticking off of one of them, but it's pile about maybe yay high, and 2 of them would fill the gap in between these tables. But I've got them spread out pretty much, and but I just want to make sure I wasn't like doing code violation
I
thing
don't
here.
know, but he said one of the right words. The fire department.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a good thing to talk with the fire department. They have good ears.
Yeah, I'll check with the guys down here off of Joel because they've been out there before for medical purposes. So.
Thank you. I know last time you were not here.
Yes.
You were busy.
Yes, my name is Christine Garris, and I'm the post chaplain over at American Legion, Post 323, just behind Burger King here. And I actually could not attend last month, Muhammad, because we had the 9/11 ceremony on the same day, and I had to do the opening and closing prayer. So I'm sorry I missed, but obviously that was a priority. And I did want to mention too, as the post chaplain, we are having our annual Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th at 11 a.m. 11 over at the Veterans Park. So we are going to be honoring all past veterans who have served, some who have made the ultimate sacrifice, as well as all currently serving veterans, or excuse me, military service members, and all veterans. So if you could make time in your schedule on Saturday, November 11th at 11 a.m. to come down and participate and honor our veterans. And it's not going to be a real long ceremony, maybe about a half hour. Bring your family, and it's a great opportunity also to be teaching our young people how important it is for people some way, whether it's in the military or on a board, an organization like this, somehow giving back and serving your community and or our country. It's very important to, not just think about ourselves and, serving a higher cause. So and it's a great opportunity too for children and families and young people. So and lastly, afterwards at the American Legion, they're just the Cub Scouts on after the ceremony will be serving hamburgers and hot dogs. So come on over and have a good time. Maybe make some new networking connections and tell everybody about our awesome organization here and grow our council. Thank you.
Be there.
That's wonderful news. I participate in all the veterans things. Sometimes I go to Fort Myers. Wherever there is more food. No. Go ahead, my friend. Welcome.
I just have one general comment. I've been gone for the summer, and I come back and I see our Lehigh Acres sign still blank. And is that the new way, or what?
No. It's better to be blank right now than have a name put on there and there's. No, I'm kidding.
They're making progress on
They have done well.
Progress. One little thing gets done like every 2 weeks, it seems like.
Lancet is really taking charge of that project. And I know they're fussing as to what name needs to be on there and all of that. So they might put their little sign at the bottom.
It's all approved.
It's all good.
They will be doing probably a groundbreaking unveiling ceremony of it too when it's complete. So once that happens in Lancet.
But shouldn't have that been taken care of before they kind of wrecked the nice sign anyway?
No. These are all things that they have. We were having a lot of problems. Who's going to do it? This is like years in the making because the bricks were falling off and all of that. So we finally got somebody to take responsibility rather than the county. At this juncture, they are doing that. And I think it's a good thing. Anything that is being done in an unincorporated area, it's a wonderful thing.
When they took the stones off, the entire internal structure was completely rusted away.
It was rough.
I'm
But
just
yes,
glad what's there now hasn't been tagged.
All right, so we'll move on. So, no?
Nothing but today.
She's going to come to that vet ceremony, I know this.
Oh, okay. Great.
I'm kidding.
I put it on my calendar.
Ma'am?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
This may be a little bit premature, but I'm looking into the future that during meetings, if there's a possibility or if anybody would be up to possibly wearing something like Muhammad in a button-down embroidery saying who we are and what we are, go out to the general public, people, what is this? Explain to them, maybe get more people here. For men and with blouses, button-down shirts for men, whatever. Or t-shirts. I'll wear t-shirts with it on there.
Advertisement. It's a great conversation starter. I like that. That's a great idea.
Probably the funding.
Say if somebody wants to take it upon themselves to look into quotes for shirts, we have shirts.
I can do that.
Well, there's always a setup initial fee, if you want embroidery on them or, or your name or whatever. There's always a startup fee.
And all that, we can have shirts. We can have t-shirts also. We can see what some people want. If everybody is okay with such thought, because I love uniqueness. It's a good thing. I think it's a great idea to bring up, and maybe it's something we can do, and some of us can look into getting somebody sponsor, or some of us can contribute to. It's not expensive. I know that. I know one person, some years did it. Some of us are not rich, but I know the $1 billion money. What's it tonight? Whatever that thing is.
Lottery.
But see, you guys know that right away. I don't know. I will never win. But some of us can sponsor that, and if you all want, and you put your shirt size, we can do that. We can either do some imprints or we can do embroidery with some shirts. Just put your size on there.
Do we have a
with
cool
something.
logo?
Say,
Do we have a cool logo? Or do we need
A
one?
logo.
A logo, you know,
Put something on it.
something other than this,
We were
okay?
first that you need.
Something that says who we are without, because this, I have no idea what IPO is, okay? You need a logo. If you're gonna have a shirt, you gotta have some kind of cool piece of artwork on there that gets people's attention, you know? Text alone will not get the job done.
you know, I have on my shirt, it says something about council, you know? And it has something on top of it.
Yeah, and that's too small, nobody can read it unless they're in your face.
I don't know.
You
That
want
means
some-
you gotta get up to, and talk to people. You gotta be nice, Bob, and go
Yes,
up to and
well,
introduce
4-inch
yourself.
block letter.
You gotta get in their face,
I get
You
more,
gotta get in their face, Bob, and, you know, shake their hand, and then they can see your
I
shirt.
get more comments from a shirt that I've got that says know your limits. And on the back, it's got birds, deer, hogs, fish, whatever. And at the bottom, it says women, one. I've had more people come up to me and go, where the hell did you get that shirt? It's got to have something on there that will get people's attentions. It doesn't have to be obnoxious or anything else, but it's just something that sends a message out, you know?
So the topic came up, you know, it's a good thing that it came up and it looks like there's interest in it.
Yes.
So it's a good interest.
We have to get together on this.
Then we can patent it
We
after
can
the
also start
sign.
bringing forth some ideas.
And just put your, you know, in front of the sign-up thing, if you guys can put your size there, it'll be helpful. When you're walking out, put the size of it there. Sign sheet, right?
Well, that would depend on what type of shirt you're ordering.
Yeah,
And which month of the year you're looking for that size, okay? You know?
Yeah, like
Still kind of ideas.
get the ideas and then decide.
Then have a discussion, you know, are we people that want t-shirts with a big logo on it, or you want something with a nice button down with a small, you know, nice business attire type thing, or, you know, see what we want.
Maybe next meeting, we can bring it up and.
We have people right here. We can. I know this is comment, and we have a few minutes more, but we can bring it up the next time. No, but please come with the whole idea ready to go, knowing that look, it's formed and ready to go, because I'm gonna look for sponsors.
Okay, great.
All right.
Yeah, you can talk to that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can
I don't know.
Connection.
Well, I talked to
Made a great
Jill
color.
earlier. My-
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, without your screw.
yep, that's right. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Ashley is awfully quiet over there. I mean, I don't know why. Ashley, you got something to say? Say.
The wheels are spinning.
Coming back to share. You have anything? Very good. I want to mention something about back again about Unite Lehigh. I'm thinking that you know we can support the Unite Lehigh group and or have a really positive attitude about it. This is not to say that look, people are for incorporation. This is just about feasibility study, so that we know which direction we should go and where we can go. Nobody's saying that it is for incorporation or non-incorporation. It is a feasibility study to see where we are at.
Yes.
Okay. And then there will be an eventual vote on stuff like that. You know, if it's a for or if it's an against, we just leave it to lie. I'll go fishing like him and watch birds.
I did go, I enjoyed it, it was very informative, but toward the end, there were a couple of disruptions that continued, and it almost ruined the entire meeting. They would have just waited and reduced their grievances to writing or typing, whatever, and then they could have got back to them. It did get unruly toward the end. And
I know the guys talk about it, and they know the little things that will happen. Now they have seen what there will be control. I'm sure it's not about control; it's tact in how we behave amongst people and what we do. And we'll always have ruly or unruly people, quiet or non-quiet people.
Part of the problem was that we announced this to the community, you know, we had this flyer about it, folks are commenting on Facebook and on it and saying, oh yeah, they'll be commenting, they'll take questions and everyone will have their chance to speak. And we never said that. Like, this is
Well, my issue with the hosting was at the library, we had 1 hour of time. That was probably a bad decision. It was just,
But it was just an informative meeting, though, is what he's saying. It was just to put out information. It wasn't a Q&A.
It was even hard to get in your own 2 cents within that 1 hour. You couldn't hardly do a lot of elaborating on a lot of the bulletins, the bullets that were up there. I mean, it was and people were frustrated. So next time that you have such a meeting, don't
short
give a
term
1 hour slot.
I am sure these guys have looked into it and they know already if it's gonna, and I know they think about the size of the place too. It could be in church, it could be in the school, but I know that they have looked in. I don't even have to hear them say anything to me.
I heard a
These
lot
are processes that I know.
I heard a lot about
No, I know. So-
1 hour, and like, I would have liked for them to have been able to explain a little bit, go into a little bit more detail on some of the bullets.
They'll
Had
have
there
to.
not been so many interruptions, we would have been able
It was
to.
the first meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We wanted to have
You're
it,
gonna have
And
an
it was
election.
just an informational, the first of many town hall meetings.
we wanted to have it later in the
I
evening so that we
understand,
could
but 1 hour
get
was
the
just
most
not-
amount of people there. So we had it at 7 p.m. or 6:30, as late as possible. And the library closes at 8, so we had to be done. So we,
Oh, I understood that.
If we do
but that's
it again,
what I heard a lot.
why did we do another town hall
Like,
and open it up for a Q&A session? It'll likely be at, I think we're thinking possibly Victory Church where they can hold 300 plus people. And probably on a Saturday where we could run it from noon to however long we need, whatever hypothetically.
I mean, when you close people down and they can't express themselves, that's where sometimes a lot of negativity comes in. So I agree with what you all were trying to do, and I believe it was successful for the most part. But the 1 hour was tight.
I'm sure they're gonna. I'm sure they have looked into that already.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that without disruptions, we could have had the people could have had at least 15 more minutes, 15 minutes of good constructive time. And if people would have put in their questions rather than blurt it out, it would have been even better because we have to look at the people, and know what is going on. If people don't put in question, if one person is going to talk 5 different times, it just, like me, I talk a lot, then I know then it
behind
extends
me
it.
and a gentleman over here so between the two of them, they were constantly interrupting.
And that was their plan. They came there just to do that because they're completely against, forming a city, and that's what they did.
And
And it ruined it for everyone else.
They gotta fix
Like
that.
I said, I got a lot of positivity from it. I thought it was an excellent presentation, and I praise everyone that was up there and took the time to try to explain the bullets and get through it with all the negativity in the room. But
Yeah.
in the end, I think it was good. result.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there always will be disruptors.
Right.
And you can just try to do the best you can. And now going forward, making changes is appropriate, so.
Right.
I wanted to propose, if we could have had these folks sell T-shirts and all of that, those Unite T-shirts, it's a great color. Now, anyway, I'm just throwing.
I do want to mention one thing. Kate from the fire department is not here today. She's putting on this weekend at Veterans Park Academy of the Arts Elementary, 49 Homestead Road. They're doing a fire prevention and safety day. And so they'll have where you can go out there. The sheriff's office will be there, but it's mainly the fire department. There's going to be fire trucks so that families, kids can touch and get on. And I know we'll have a patrol car out there. Kids can hop in and get pictures, but it's really about the fire department. The first time they're doing this, they're really trying to promote it and get other districts in the county do this and get hundreds and hundreds of people come out. This is another way of just showing support within your community. So pass the word, but it's from
9 to noon.
12.
I have it in my calendar.
Good. So
That's
I just want to
awesome.
bring it up. I don't know why she's not here, but I wanted to bring it up for you
It's
guys.
good that you brought it.
Thank you.
Perhaps next the United Lehigh meeting, there could be an officer or two there to.
So we've been asked, we can't.
Yeah.
You
We
cannot.
can't.
And these kind,
We thought of doing, we had to hire them and pay a 4-hour minimum per officer.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
can't
work
come,
the-
I can't come in this capacity because what happens is you're gonna have sides like, oh, the sheriff's department's taking sides on incorporating the city, or, oh, the sheriff's department. And so it's a lose-lose for us because really we're gonna be doing law enforcement, whether it's a city or a county, but we can't be the one pushing an agenda either way, for or against, and that's how it's perceived.
You would be taking care of the unruly.
no, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
No,
When you
no.
do that, any event in the
We have
county,
had events
it
like
doesn't
this in the
matter
schools.
They try to stifle you.
what, any event that happens, you have to, that organization has to hire an off-duty deputy to do that. And it doesn't matter if you're a church, if you're pick whatever, an HOA in a community, you've got to hire an off-duty deputy.
What about one of the support units?
No.
You don't want to put the retiree in that position, so.
All right. having gone around the table, and you have anything else?
If anybody hasn't seen the incorporation meeting and wants to, it is on YouTube to watch. Go to YouTube, search at Unite Lehigh, and it should bring up our page with the video on there. And then to piggyback on that, next meeting, November 6th, it's John Talmadge, Director of Lee County Economic Development, should be here, hopefully. And should be a very, I'll say, eye-opening of the growth of Lehigh for the speech that he should give.
Is there any anticipated meetings in the future, or the next meeting of United Lehigh?
Yeah, they have a
We're working on a smaller meeting for our next steps for donations, fundraising, things like that, and not a full
Not an
okay.
town hall meeting.
Okay. That's what I was
If you want to be
insinuating
involved,
was-
if you want to be involved in with the efforts, I can add you to my list and we can get you in contact with our next meeting
That'd be fine.
that way.
Yeah, if you went to the Unite Lehigh meeting and signed up for the volunteer list, then we'll be calling you, hopefully this week.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
some of that.
I
So we'll
just
be calling you
know
this
this week, I'm going up north, for half November, and we'll be back in December, but he will be back for the November meeting. So if there's anything going on, we won't be in attendance.
2 weeks Wednesday, October 18th, over the next.
All right.
For 18.
So having said that, I'm looking for us to adjourn and go home. I know Mr. Saul he's on the job right now. I know I'm on the job. Some of us have to go eat. But it was a productive meeting. I'm thankful for those people. Welcome, new members. I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful that you guys attended also. It was productive, and thank you all of you. Thank you, Sheriff.
You say you're treating at Waffle House? Meet you there?
No, they have raised the price for the tickets.